Hi, this is Mrs. Robertson, and now we are ready to start our math journal, travel journal expense sheet. Again, put your first and last name and period. In this class, you're in my third period class. Now, if you have already done your packet and you think it's all complete, put 20 right here. And then this sheet, once it's finished, is worth 20 points, and then your digital presentation. When I give this back to you, you'll know your total points for the whole project, the packet, the expense sheet, and your digital presentation. So we're going to start first by looking at fuel expenses. You're going to use your packet to help you fill this out. Fuel expenses, the number of miles round trip. So to and from, you already have that information in your packet. It was 972 miles to Orlando, then 972 miles back. And then, kids, this is the part that's not in your packet. I figure I'm going to travel 100 miles when I'm in Orlando because I'm going to go visit my brother. I'm going to go maybe to a restaurant. Maybe we'll go to a grocery store. Maybe we'll drive to Cocoa Beach. So I'm going to add at least 100 miles. Maybe you're going to do more miles. If you're at the Smoky Mountains, you're going to do more than 100 miles because you're going to drive through the mountains each day, okay, that you're there. Now, the total number of miles that I have here will be, and it says the number of miles traveled during the week, I said it's going to be 100, okay? That's what that part means. How many miles am I going to travel once I get there? It's 100. Total miles traveled. This is where you take 972 plus 972 plus the 100. And I'm going to travel 2,044 miles. Yours might be different because you're not all going to Orlando. Now, what type of a vehicle are you going to be taking on this trip? I'm going to say a Honda minivan. Okay. Miles per gallon for your vehicle. Very easy. Go into your Chromebook and type in miles per gallon for a Honda minivan. So that's what I do. I'm going to type in miles per gallon, MPG, for Honda minivan. Now, if you want to tell the year, you can. I'm just going to be pretty vague. Okay, it starts off, did you mean MPG? That's what I wanted. So I scroll down. Okay, right here it is. City and highway. When you're traveling from Indianapolis to Orlando, is that city driving or is that highway driving? Highway. So I'm going to use 28 miles per gallon. That's pretty good for a minivan. So I'm going to divide my total miles per gallon. I'm going to put 28 miles per gallon. Now, if you have an electric vehicle, that'll be different, but we're just using a gas minivan. Divide the total miles. What is it? 2,044 divided by my miles per gallon, divided by 28, and that will tell you how many gallons of gas you need. Okay? So you can do that. Average price for a gallon of gas, I'm going to say this time $3.54. You never know because gas prices change every day, right? What do you do to figure out how much to allow for fuel expenses? And then you tell me how much it's going to cost to buy your gas. Okay? Any questions? All right. Now you can finish that part by yourself. I want to go on to the next part. Lodging. How many nights will you need to pay for lodging? Okay, you're going to be gone for 7 nights. 7 days, 7 nights. But if you're going to sleep in the car because you're traveling at night, you can say 2 nights you're sleeping in the car so you don't have to spend any money for a hotel. You understand? So, an example of what I did in another class, price for each night of lodging. I'm going to put it down here. 5 nights when I get to my place, I'm going to say it was $250 a night. $252 a night. So that equals 5 times 252 would equal $1,260. That's for 5 nights. Then, one night going down, we stayed at a Motel 8. At the Motel 8, I got the price for $75. Then, coming back, the Country Music Awards were going on in Nashville, Tennessee, and I wanted to go to see them. Well, they jacked up the prices in Nashville, Tennessee, and I had to pay $300 a night to go spend the night at a hotel because I wanted to go in Tennessee, Nashville, and it was going to be $300. Total lodging expense, you add those up and put it there. Again, your numbers won't be the same as mine. You'll have different expenses. Any questions on how to do lodging expense? Let's turn the page. Food expense. Kids, if you want to do it for yourself, that's fine, but I might ask at the end to say, take your expense times how many people are in your family. If it's 4, take your answer times 4, if we're wanting to do the total family. But if it's just for you, you can say for yourself only, that's how much it is. And then at the end, I might say, how much will it be for your whole family? Just take your answer times the total number of people, which is very easy. Okay, how many meals will be consumed during your trip? Well, how many meals do people eat a day? 3. And you're going to be gone for 7 days. 7 times 3 equals 21 meals. How did you come up with your meal total? Well, I took 7 times 3 equals 21. Now, for my whole family, I'm going to have 4 times 21, and I need 84 meals for the family. Okay, so if it's just yourself, you would need 21 meals. But if there are 4 people in your family, you're going to need to take care of 84 meals. Okay? Then, how much will you spend on snacks? You come up with how much you're going to spend on snacks. Then you're going to have to figure out how much is each meal going to be. Are you going to allow $5 a meal? $3 a meal? You can come up and say, I'm going to do, if you go to McDonald's and you get a cheeseburger and a drink, you might be able to get away with $3, but it's probably going to cost you $4. You need to come up with how much you think it's going to be. Maybe you're going to go to the grocery store and buy food for a lot of your meals. You can put that in there too. Okay? Now, how much will you spend on snacks? You can come up with how much you're going to spend on snacks. Go to the grocery store and buy your favorite snacks. You can sort of give me a rough estimate. You don't have to tell me everything, but you might say, we're going to go to the grocery store and we'll spend $300 on snacks or on food, because maybe you only have to buy a few meals out at McDonald's or at a restaurant because you're going to go to do peanut butter and jellies a lot of the day, and you're going to have cereal. If everyone eats cereal, it's not going to cost as much. But you can come up with how much that's going to be, okay? And that will give you your total food expense. Entertainment expense. If you're going to Disney World, you're going to have to buy Disney World tickets. Find out how much those are. If you're going to go to Smoky Mountains, it doesn't cost anything to drive through the mountains, but maybe you want to go to the Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum. How much is it going to cost to go to that museum? Maybe you want to go to a movie. How much is it going to cost to do a movie? Write down something that you want to do, and if it's going to cost money, just tell us how much it is. If you're not going to need to do anything for an expense, you can just say, just going to sit at the beach. Not going to spend any money for expense. But if you're going to go to the beach and go parasailing, how much does it cost to parasail? Okay? Or to rent a sailboat. And that's what you'll do. You get your total expense there. Fill those out. Then, at the final, total costs. What was your fuel expense? Write that down. What's your lodging expense? Your food expense and your entertainment expense. Add them all together and then put your final amount on the total cost. Staple this paper to your packet, and this is worth 20 points. You will use this information to create your slide on Monday or Tuesday, and your project is done.